You've been told that loving God is a feeling you wait for, a spiritual vibe that hits you during a worship song or a quiet sunset. But if you think Mark 12:30 is about waiting for an emotional spark, you are setting yourself up for a lifetime of spiritual disappointment. This misunderstanding is exactly why your faith feels like an engine that won't start. You are treating a command for total integration like a suggestion for occasional affection. And that's why you feel like a hypocrite every time your Sunday morning high fades into a Monday morning slump. Most people approach this verse as if it's a menu where they can pick and choose. They try to love God with their heart through emotions, but they leave their mind at the door, refusing to study or think deeply about their faith. Or they try to serve with their strength through endless church activities, while their soul remains completely disconnected and dry. You've likely spent years trying to check these boxes individually, wondering why you still feel distant, frustrated, and spiritually exhausted. You expect a deep connection with the Creator, yet you only give Him compartmentalized fragments of your life. Listen to the weight of the requirement laid out in Mark 12:30. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. When Jesus speaks these words, He isn't giving a new suggestion. He is answering a scribe who asked which commandment is the most important of all. To understand the gravity of this, we have to look at the historical context. Jesus is quoting the Shema from Deuteronomy, the central prayer of the Jewish faith. By calling this the first commandment, He is establishing that if you get this wrong, nothing else in your spiritual life will ever sit right. The problem Jesus was addressing with the religious leaders of His day, and the problem He is addressing with you right now, is the tendency to perform religious duties while the inner man remains divided. This is why your prayers often feel like they are hitting a brass ceiling. You are offering God a part when He demanded the all. This total devotion is echoed in Romans 12:1, where Paul beseeches us to present our bodies as a living sacrifice. This connects directly to the strength and soul mentioned by Jesus. A sacrifice isn't a sacrifice if you keep the parts you like for yourself. If you love God with your heart, but keep your mind focused on worldly anxieties and secular philosophies, you are a house divided against itself. This internal friction is the reason nothing is changing in your life. You are trying to drive toward God with the emergency brake of your own ego pulled tight. You claim to love Him, yet you refuse to submit your intellect to His word or your physical energy to His purposes. Furthermore, we see the consequence of failing this integration in Revelation 3:16, where the warning against being lukewarm is issued. Lukewarmness isn't just not caring enough. It is the result of trying to love God without your all. It is the emotional outcome of a fragmented soul. When Jesus demands your mind, He is demanding your focus. If your mind is constantly saturated with digital distractions and temporary worries, there is no room for the transformative power of the Spirit. That's why you feel stuck even though you believe. You have the belief, but you lack the surrender of the all. You are trying to negotiate with a God who does not take 90%. Finally, consider the strength aspect. In James 2:17, we are reminded that faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone. This is the outward expression of the inward love. If your strength, your actual physical effort, time, and resources isn't being directed toward God, then the love you claim to have in your heart is an illusion. It's a ghost. This is why your faith feels dead. You've disconnected the engine of your actions from the fuel of your devotion. You cannot say you love the Lord with your soul while your body remains a slave to your own comforts. True love, as defined by Jesus, is an all-consuming fire that leaves no part of your existence untouched. Until you stop compartmentalizing your Sundays from your work days, your feelings from your thoughts, and your intentions from your actions, you will continue to wander in a desert of spiritual mediocrity. Stop scrolling and look at your life. If you've spent this long listening, it's because you know something is missing. You've been giving God your leftovers and wondering why you feel starved. Don't just agree with this video and move on to the next distraction. Identify the one area, your mind, your time, or your hidden desires that you've been keeping for yourself. Surrender it right now. If this truth challenged the way you've been living, hit the like button, to help us reach others who are stuck in the same trap. And subscribe to join this movement of returning to the all commandment. The time for partial devotion is over. Choose today whom you will serve.